Hi folks, this is Frankie Schoenfeld. We're going to show you another one of my ties that I came up with. Pretty cool stuff. Only been tying for a few weeks, and I try to keep everything pretty simple. We're going to be using olive green for this tie here. Size 16 scud hook. I call it the micro mop, and what I do is I take our standard piece of mop and chartreuse green, whatever you want to call it. I take my scissors and I cut a very small section of it off the back end, approximately about like that, quarter to a half inch. I pull to separate the material to get down to the core of it, just a wee little puff of it. And I start my thread on my hook. You don't have to get perfect with this. I think it's more what gets the fish to eat it is the color and like the pulsating action of the mop when it's in the water. I tie a little extra thread up here to keep the bead in better place and to attach the mop a little better. I call this the micro mop. It's just a wee little section. Some places you fish, there's a more steadier population of juvenile trout, and sometimes they don't want that big bug coming down through, and sometimes just that wee little size difference makes a big change. And all I simply do is take the mop, and this doesn't have to be like perfect. Just make sure you get those center strands there secured down. Some people tie it with and they put like a finishing cement on it to hold it in place. I don't. I figure if the fish pulls it apart, all I have to do is cut the thread off the main body and retie another one. That's a pretty simple tie here, and I call it the micro mop, sorry. I think it looks pretty good. Slide the camera over here a little bit, and now what we're going to do is whip finish it. This time of year there's always green bugs hitting the water. You might think it's like a caddis larva or something. You can mess around with putting ice dubbing on it for a collar or whatever, but the plain seems to win the day. Just a chunk of green floating down there with that pulsating mop, and then I break it off, and there you go, folks. That's my micro Mopp Fly, and it catches fish. Some of these small Class A streams, I fish in central Pennsylvania. This seems to be the ticket. I think it's more of the material, the pulsating with the Mopp Flies, what attracts them to entice a hit. But I've also learned through by tying some of the bigger Mopp Flies, if your butt's hanging off of the Mopp Fly too much, you get a lot of dummy strikes. So I formatted a way of just tying it where the mop is just barely at the end of the shank. That way when they hit it, they hit it. Like I said, it's worked good on bigger streams and some of the smaller Class A streams, where your juvenile trout are from 4 to 6 to 7 inches long. And once you get above 12 inches, they're a little bigger fish. You know what I mean? They're a little older in your smaller streams. Now your bigger streams like the Little Juniatans and Spring Creek and Penn's Creek, your juvenile trout run a little bigger. Typically, they grow faster, more food, less competition for the food. But this, try this little micro Mopp Fly. I think it will produce. You can do it in any color. There's variable colors of it: peach, tan, white. But this little green baby here catches some fish. So stay tuned to more Frankie Outdoors, and God bless you all.